Hello there folks, so we'll try and do another new set which I've had in stock for about 3 years. So we're not buying any more new sets, but I want to get through some of the ones which I bought to review, discuss and of course service. So it's the Intek M-799, and if somebody said to me what's out of the two, are they still both producing radios? I don't know, but between Intek and TTI, I personally would prefer the Intek models. But there you go. I don't know whether there's any reason behind that. But it seems to launch, or both of them seem to launch quite a few models 2010-ish, and then it seems to have fizzled out to some degree. But there we are. So we'll open this up. These are still current because our wholesalers still have them. Got exactly 15 minutes. We're also doing a Everyday Electronics magazine project of a Roger Bleep, believe it or not. I was put onto that by one of the viewers, so we're reviewing that magazine from 1982 and showing you the project as that we actually finish it. Oops. I don't need to put any added protection on my bench mat because it's my radio. This seems to be a permanent tie type, so we'll need to cut that off. Pleasing mic, thick cable which is a bit on the heavy side. And there we have it with a decent sized display. I think these are before 2014. I'm not expecting this to have any quick way through to all the bands and modes available in the UK. So open it up first. I think we've covered one of these with the same chassis before, and I recall we had the service manual, the full service manual for that. What we got on the back? Well, we've got a hole there which would be an S-meter socket on a different model, but it's just a hole. So we've just got an extension speaker. I'm not sure I can work out the year of manufacture from that. May need to take the bottom lid off to put that lid back on. So we're greeted with a fiberglass board. Has an AM modulation transformer, which isn't tiny. And we've got some adjustments, so I'm expecting the only adjustments for the transmitter are going to be those two, the two for the receivers, the three for the receiver plus the detector there. These look like they're adjustable, but in fact they're not. I'm not going to break anything. So there are some limited adjustments, and then we've got some variable resistors. We can set the frequency on this. Let's just see if I can find a date code. $10,622. I didn't buy this last year, so I don't know. So the board is labelled M-799 Plus revision 6. Oh, it's got the instruction book out of that box. Perhaps they didn't send me one. That's the usual thing. I don't seem to get many instruction books. Sure, our wholesalers keep them back. Anyway, we'll power it up. Power supply on, 13.8 volts selected. Power up the radio. It's come on in blue. Can't see what I'm doing with this. I'm on a funny angle. So it's on EC, and what happens if we press yeah, right. But it's like the ESP on that Midland we did yesterday. It makes it sound rubbish. No, there's no instruction book with that. Let's go back in the main box. No, there's no instruction book with that. Do you think they send me all the returns? Oh, he'll fix it anyway, he will. And as you can see where that second hole which says S meter is, there's no space for anything on the main board. It's nice to see a 3 amp protection diode rather than a skinny 1 amp one. So we'll plug the mic in. I'll get a sheet of paper in a moment. I've probably got about 10 minutes left, so we might be able to get some parameters down, but I'd like to be able to get it on UK band because I want to test it on there rather than on here. So I wonder if we turn it off and turn it on doing that. No? I bet you do though. No. Let's try 2 buttons at once. No, it goes straight into scan. Yes. I'm upside down here. And then what do we do? Press transmit? Oh, good grief, I'm so clever today. Right. Right, so we know we're on UK, and does that change the band? I think you're stuck with it if you're on UK. Okay, so that's got it on channel 20. So I'll put the signal generator on channel 20 and hopefully that'll come through. Yes, it is doing. Good. So to be honest, that's too loud for no volume. It's awful. Transmit. Let's put picture in picture on. 3 watts. Deviation, if we can believe the machine. Wallow. 1.5. Okay, let's get a sheet of paper. I've gone and left the clipboard by my computer when I was doing the editing of yesterday's video, so we'll just kind of find enough space on here. That's interesting, isn't it? I think it's the 7th day. I know it's Friday. So it's in Intek M-799 plus. So on channel 20 is doing 3 watts. Although we're going to do EU, we're going to look at AM. I'm going to optimise it for UK channels because at the end of the day it's my set. And we can't really use EU in this area because it's just full of foreign interference. It really restricts our range. This is why we've been recently switching between bands on sets where we can. Let's just change that camera. There we are. We've got on channel 40 3.05 watts, and on channel 1 3.05 watts. The current consumption, if we go back to channel 20, is 1.39 amps. Being the modern sets, it draws more current than the older sets. Most UK FM sets are between 1 and 1.2 amps on transmit when they're doing 4 watts. So we'll have it's 1.5. We'll verify that with the signal generator behind. We won't be looking at that. On frequency, is it? Oh yes. It's 27,79118. I'll just pull that up to 125. But all this is just so unimportant. It's so close. Just very slightly above. It gives it a bit of tight because they drop with age. So we've actually done an adjustment. Meter lamp works. It doesn't have PA. So we'll have a look at the receive sensitivity. So I'll plug the test equipment in. Just like that. And better turn the squelch down. How do you do that then? I'm going to have to undo this speaker. It's going to get broken otherwise. Well, that's novel. I don't seem to have to mute the speaker, get the speaker into. We're going to be getting that instruction book out. download the instruction book, shall I say, and print it off. Right, that's out of the way now. Okay, so let's put a spanner in my works, hasn't it? Well, put S9 on it instead. And the meter says 5. Press transmit. And the meter says 4. So it'd be nice if you could change the colour out of blue, because I find that a hateful colour. It'd be nice if you could turn the squelch down on this. So that's two things which I'm struggling with. I'd have thought it would show autosquelch on the display when that was on, but it doesn't. That's only going to work in AM, isn't it? That. Right, well, that's as far as we can get on this session. So see if we can do any more to this today. But this is work time finishing. See you next session. Okay, so a couple of hours later, I've got the radio to hit. I don't know what I did. So we'll put the signal generator back on. I've downloaded an instruction book. It's got a built-in circuit diagram, so that's helped. And what we've got there, 0.95 for not sparkling, is it that? And for 10 dB, 0.75. And for 20, 3. Squelch full. 10 millivolts, get an accurate reading. 5.5 millivolts. Squelch threshold. One micro. I'm sure this is a return, you know. Mic's okay. Can't turn the volume down any further than that. I'd like to be able to turn it down to nothing. I've got squelch at minimum and it's still cutting in and out. Okay, so we'll go over to transmit and let's see whether we can do anything with this, the transmitter being lower than I would like. We'll check that's where we want it. That was already at optimum. And that was already at optimum. So I think there's a power preset and I think it's 5. So I've just got to find 5. 5 is there. Just check we're on picture in picture. We are. Check we're on the main meter. We are now. That tool doesn't really fit. That tool doesn't really fit. I don't think anything really is going to fit. fit. Yeah, that is power. And 3.5 is the maximum we're going to achieve. So we'll just pop it on another channel. No, that's not the right thing. Channel 40, there we go. 3.45. It's gone the opposite way, hasn't it? And channel 1. That's not right. Oh, it wraps round. So as you go past channel 40 from UK, it goes on to CEPT. So you've got to go all the way back to get to channel 1. And then beyond there it'll go to 40 on CEPT. Okay. 3.5. So always add 0.4 to what I tell you, because this test set measures the frequency we're on rather than any interference, and normal test meters kind of add it all together. So it should be how I'm doing it. So transmit current now is 1.41. We've got half a watt for very little more power. So I'm going to check the deviation with the test set behind, but we'll just make sure we know which the deviation control is. Wallow, just make sure we're on tune 1 2 1 2 wallow, wallow 1 2. Am I on the right channel? No, I'm not. I need to be on channel 20 with that CPT band. Right, we're ready to wallow 1 2 1 2 wallow 1 2. So I've got no deviation is one I wasn't sure. So I think RV1. I've got one right, haven't I? It's got TX power. I think one is the S meter. If I can find one. There's one. Oh, so I think that's the S meter. I'll tell you what, we'll jump around. We'll do that now. So we've got S5 on 100 microvolts. That's right. S9. So that's one done. I think RV2 is the preset squelch, so we'll just ignore that for now. RV3 appears to be squelch. So the fact 2 and 3 are together, that figures. So it's not an auto squelch, it's a preset squelch. So I want full squelch to be 100 microvolts. So let's see whether we can open it by turning RV3. No, we can't. Let's go up a peg or two. We can open it there. So the best I can achieve is 250 microvolts. So that's that. Now, does this squelch more readily open now I've adjusted that? Only just with an aerial in it will. So let's see where the preset squelch is. It's too harsh at 10. So let's set that about 3, I think. I don't know. I think this has really been screwdrivered, you know. 2, isn't it? That's it. So that's coming in at 3 now. So that's probably where we want it to be. Preset squelch. And let's see where the position is now for minimum squelch. Trouble is I can't hear anything. .85 is all I can get, which is better than 1. See, we're doing hot up the receiver at all. We'll go with the cyanide meter. Turn the squelch down. Yes, we can. Could well be. Oh, I think I've knocked the frequency now. I have. There we are, back where we should be. So bigger signal. So we can adjust that. I can't actually see that doing anything. Maybe to do with AM. So we'll bear that in mind. Go back to that one. And then we'll do what we think's the detector. Put a 100 microvolt signal on, S9 equivalent. And let's see whether that makes any difference. It could be that, it could be that. So I'm going to go for this. It affects shape, but that's all. That was peak. So that could be an AM detector. C1. I can't turn the volume down anymore. IFT1, yep. Oh, it's right at the front. I expect that to make quite a difference. We'll just try once again. Drop the signal really low. Okay, well I can't see it making any difference there on the cyanide meter. Right, so going back to the cyanide meter, let's just see what we've now got on receive. So we've now got 0.7 something. 0.76. It's not exactly 0.2 something like that Thunderpole T800, is it? And for 10 dB, 0.63. For 20, 2.6. This is noise more than anything else. It's not an indicator of poor receive performance. So I mean, this is like an average Maxcom 7E as far as the sensitivity goes, but you have got the crystal filters because it's a CE approved set, and that's now a requirement. So that's done that. We've got an RF meter actual adjustment on this set, which is quite rare. RV5. So I can poke my head in again to see where RV5 is. 5 is there. That's power. TX meter is 6, is what I was saying. And 6 is there. Go back to transmit. Can't turn the volume down. What I'm going to do is turn the power down so we can actually see this move. So I've turned the power down to about 2 watts. And let's see if I can get this to actually move. I can't, no. Okay, we'll turn the power back up. So we found another one there, 501. We think it's either going to be deviation or modulation. There's always the possibility that I'm wrong and that's deviation and that's modulation. We'll find out. Wallow. Wallow. Yeah, that's definitely deviation. So 301 is deviation. So I'll just set that with the test set behind me. I can't always trust this one on that. Well, actually put the squelch on. Certainly working better than when this radio arrived. 5 is there. Well, actually put the squelch on. Certainly working better than when this radio arrived. So I've either got a shoddy setup radio or it's a return and it's been fiddled with. Wow, that's well over the top now. Wow. Right, so that now brings us to getting the thing into AM. Now we should be able to select AM or FM. What's that going to be? AF? It is. So there we are, AM. So we'll go for channel 40. So it's 27405 if I remember rightly. 27405. Just wind the signal generator down. Well, that was a good guess. I just turned the course and didn't touch the fine, and there we were. So out of interest, what sensitivity have we got? So on AM we've got 2.5 microvolts. AM's usually inferior to FM. So AM sensitivity So when we did those two pure AM CE approved sets, one of them was about 0.55 and the other was about 0.9. So this is quite a bit inferior, isn't it, to those two little Midlands we've tried. So that's what we're going to just do is check the detector. So it came to the conclusion that one of those coils could well be the detector. So big signal like we normally do. Put the oscilloscope on and we'll see whether that coil affects AM. Yeah. So that one's AM detector. So we'd already done the FM one. I'll just see whether we can see this other one move. No. Put the signal right down. Nope. So now we've just got AM mod to do. We'll have to retune. Oops, we'll have to unplug the extension speaker. Doesn't like that, does it? Wallow. So where is... So it could be that AM mod is this one. Wallow. It isn't that one. So what else haven't we done? I hate all this guesswork. Even with the circuit diagram, it's ambiguous. So we've done the 301. I'd expect it to be there. We've got RV4 there. RV4 we haven't touched, so that's going to be mod. Wallow. Wallow. That's it. So that's now up to like 93%. I don't want to take it beyond there. So we still didn't find that's supposed to be RF meter, but we couldn't actually get it to change even when I turned the power down. So RV4 is AM mod, and we know that IFT5 is AM detector, and we know that IFT4 is FM detector. There we go. I will do a photo, but I haven't got time to colour it all in on this video. So I will have it on file. So there we are. To be honest, mediocre performance. And things like the volume control not going down to 0. And the squelch control not always hitting. It's reminiscent of the, was it the Midland 095 where the squelch doesn't always hit if you haven't got a volume, if you haven't got a aerial plugged in. Right, let's we'll solder that thing back on. I'll just take my photo, pause the video. Right, I have managed to cram in doing a photo, so because I know how much these help. So FM deviation, VCO and frequency adjust. We're not touching the VCO. Transmit. They were spot on this radio. Then we've got the coils for the receive, S meter, FM detector, AM detector, the squelch 2 presets for they've got the preset one there and the manual one there. AM modulation, transmit power, that covers that. So there you go on the photo. So we've got our notes, and it's just made our on the air test about 20 minutes late, but I don't like to do that. So that we couldn't get that to adjust the RF meter. We did get that to adjust though. There we go, a new set. Bit of an also ran as far as performance goes, as far as I can see. You've got this compressor. I'll play with that at the end when we go through to our base station. It may do something when you've got two sets with the same feature. I'll need to get this back onto UK. It is blue all the time. I just wanted to check that. So it is blue all the time. It's got quite a lot of features. It's got a Roger bleep. I'm just going to switch that on to our walkie-talkie. So just go back to UK channels. I'm going to have to faff with this on the test. And RB looks like a long press. Has it done that? Yeah. So I'll just for now we'll have it on channel 20. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. That's interesting, got no audio. Okay, that's that sorted out. So it was I've had to open a mic up and put service old switch cleaner on the switch, and it's not like it's been kicking around in a unheated building. It's been in the house. So another disappointment. Right, let's just see what it sounds like. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2 3 4 5. That sounds alright to my walkie-talkie. I've also observed if it's on EU, like we had it to set up, then it's 1 watt on transmit. We've got it on EI, is that for Spain, to make it do 4 watts. So it's clearly been designed, if not manufactured, before 2014 when the rules changed. So be aware of that. It's 1 watt on EU, and to get 4 watts we've had to swindle it into Spain. So not good either. Right, well, let's put the lid on and see. I'll turn it off because even at that volume it's too loud for me. Right, on the aerial it goes. So we now need to reprogram it for UK. Well, I know Roger. Bit of something there. Right, we'll put that through its paces on an on-the-air test. So new set, but 3 years in my keeping, but still just about current. Not quite 4 watts, and what did we say on receive? 0.76. Thanks for watching Intek M799 Plus.